realistic clean with me video. I decided to make it more realistic. Cleaning with kids is really challenging, so we're gonna keep it realistic today. I'm gonna be wearing my not cute clothes because I don't have the patience for something cute right now. I'm gonna wear literally my Farmer Brown outfit. So today we are going to get as much cleaning as I can get done, as much spring cleaning as humanly possible. Hello, so I wanted to do sort of a voiceover style version of this video because I just find them so relaxing. I don't know if you guys are the same way, but there's nothing like a clean with me with a nice voiceover. I decided to start with the dishes because the dishes are the most annoying. They don't end and I needed them out of my kitchen. Well, not out of the kitchen, but out of my sink and out of my dishwasher, and I've tried to keep up with my dishes as much as I can, and that wasn't always the case. We used to actually be pretty bad with the dishes. They were usually the last thing that I would clean, as I was always more of a vacuum person. I felt like vacuuming made the biggest difference. But you know what? Going into your kitchen and not seeing dishes in the sink honestly gives you a little bit of dopamine, so that's what I did. I really like organizing my daughter's dishware because it just makes me feel like a really cool mom. I also just find it way easier to maintain my daughter's stuff versus our own stuff, to be honest. And I wish I could do it better with our things, but honestly, this is just where I'm at in this stage of motherhood. Does anybody else feel like crazy when they walk with all their knives? I always feel like a serial killer. Recently, I have been finding it really challenging to keep up with my house. I have been just really struggling, and I'll be the first to admit that it is impossible to do something when children are in stages that are challenging. Right now my daughter is amazing, but we recently hit kind of a more challenging stage with her, and honestly everything has been going so incredibly well, but I will say the 18-month stage, once it hits, it can be kind of intense, and it took me a little bit off guard because thus far it had been kind of a smooth ride and we really didn't hit any hurdles. And I've been working with kids for a while, so I knew something was going to come eventually, and I was just kind of hoping that it wouldn't all hit me at once. And I think that kind of made it even more hard to keep up with my house. And so truly, even just getting these dishes done, getting the sink washed really nicely, getting my kitchen deeply cleaned is just so nice and felt so nice. There are definitely stages that I really enjoy with children, and I'm not gonna lie, the 18-month to 2 stage can be a little bit more challenging for me because they're kind of starting to kind of showcase their behaviors that aren't ideal, but they also are so young yet, and you really can't expect them to really grasp discipline. So I don't know, I find it to be a little bit overwhelming at times because a lot of times they might be screaming, or it's the first time you're getting their tantrums, it's the first time you're getting a lot of whining, and I struggle with the constant whining. I might struggle with whining the most, to be honest. Like, a tantrum's challenging, but the whining I find to be just so hard. Anybody else? I'd love to know what your least favorite stage and your favorite stage is. And I will say, having my own child has made the 18-month stage really fun and exciting. And I mean, she says a new word every single day. She'll repeat after me. It's just so exciting. But, I mean, let's be real. Those tantrums, the whining, all that change at once can be just a little bit stressful. I think that, on top of it being winter, was one of the biggest reasons, or combinations, why I was burning out the way I was. I am starting to feel a lot better, and I know that it has to do with this wonderful weather we're starting to get. We're getting kind of lucky this year. In Wisconsin, it typically isn't very warm at all in March. In fact, like, you can expect snow to happen, and I'm still going to continue to expect snow to happen. And at this point, I am beyond done with snow. Normally, I will say, like, March is my least favorite because it's sort of still winter, it's still freezing, there's still usually snow, but this year the snow's gone already, and so I have had a few years where when the snow was gone, I'm in such a better mood, and I do feel like I am affected so much by the weather. It is unreal. And getting outside daily really does help me with that feeling, and even just my productivity. I feel like I can get so much more done when I get outside, and I feel like a human being that is able to function better when I get outside, especially with working with children. I found that like when we were outside this week, I was in one of the best moods I've had in a really long time. My patience was better. The kids were better. They were in better moods. I mean, the list goes on. If you're ever struggling with children and you're just kind of feeling stuck, I'm gonna say it. Go outside. It's such an annoying thing to hear, but I will say it like really makes a huge difference. And I've been working with kids for a while, and every time I get to that point in the year where we can get outside way more frequently for longer stretches of time, it is just such a mood changer. And I will say too, the independent play is beyond anything that you get when you're inside. I don't know what it is about outside for that like point as well. Like just kids just play so well outside. And I don't know, I'm like such a I'm such an outside person. I've always been that way. I always get really stressed when it gets below like feels like 20, because I tend to try to follow the state guideline of how long to stay outside by just trying to cap it off at feels like 20. And if we do go out, if it's below that, I'll just bundle them up like crazy, especially if they're really little, and to keep it at a very minimal amount of time. But honestly, sometimes it's worth it just to get out for like 15 minutes. I think it can be worth that bundling up. So if you're feeling that fear of getting outside, and maybe you're going through that seasonal depression and you're like not able to get motivated to get outside, maybe take this as a sign that this will be like a huge reason that your sanity will start to come back. Also, just pushing myself to stretch that creative muscle. And for me, that is making these videos, filmmaking, and honestly, even getting like housework done. I've been working on a few projects in this house. We have the sunroom as a project. My husband is starting the living room. He's making some molding for that, which is really exciting. In this clip, I'm actually working on peeling off some tape for the sunroom, and I'm so excited because I decided that I want to completely decorate this room fully me, and just not feel guilty about it, not feel like I need to follow any trend, just giving myself that space to completely show up as me fully, which is actually something I struggle with a lot. I struggle to show up as myself, and it sounds kind of crazy, and I'm not saying that I'm not myself when I'm around people. I just tend to hide a lot of parts of myself in different settings, and even like to my own self. Like, I don't always embrace me. And I think especially with doing a service job where I'm giving to people all the time, I forget that I exist and I forget that I need to be my own person. It was a therapist actually who pointed out to me that hiding, that not able to show up fully as myself for even the people that I love truly is actually social anxiety. I was discussing with her that I struggle to show up even as myself, like dancing in the car with my mom. And my mom's probably watching this, so hi mom. It makes me want to cry because I am a mother and I never want my daughter to feel like she can't dance in the car with me to a song she likes, or even just because she knows it would be fun. And I know it would be fun. I know that it's something that I would like to do, but like dancing, it feels naked. Like I can't do that. It feels like beyond naked. Like I would actually rather be naked in front of my mom than dance or sing in front of her. I want to know if anybody else struggles with that kind of like fear of showing up, being vulnerable, and just expressing themselves in that way. And I think that's why I love this platform of YouTube, because it is just a screen, it's a camera, it's a creative platform. I can edit out things that I don't love. I can edit in things that I want people to hear or see. I can add this little part where I am talking. I mean, it's just a wonderful thing to have. I love this platform and what it's done for me, and the confidence that it gave me when I started at age 15 years old. Actually, I think I might have been even younger when I started, and then I stopped, which I'm still a little bit sad that I did, but honestly, I'm so glad that I came back because it has been so incredible. Turning back to some mom content, I wanted to have a little discussion about breastfeeding and weaning because I don't think anybody has ever told me how challenging and how stressful and how depressing and sad and confusing and bizarre that it is, because I think that I will say that's definitely another reason why the burnout's been happening. That's another reason why I think the stages that I've been dealing with have been happening, because stopping breastfeeding is like just way more intense and more involved than I had ever imagined it to be. Man, I mean, even the breastfeeding book that I was reading didn't talk about weaning, which is like a big part of it. I think it makes a lot of sense as to like why I've been so down and up and down and just everywhere around the rainbow in terms of my mood because it is so like my hormones I feel like are worse weaning than they were even like postpartum. I mean, maybe I'm crazy. Actually no. Postpartum, they were definitely a little bit more intense, but the pregnancy, I mean, I will say pregnancy is a breeze compared to weaning in terms of my hormones and my mood and the stabilization of my mood. My stupid acne's back. Like, my acne's back, and I'm like, what is happening to me? And I know this is just a phase, and my hormones have to level out, and I have to just push through this really annoying time. But I need to know how to push through. If anybody's ever weaned from breastfeeding, please, I mean, even if you're my mother, can you comment down below and tell me your tips and tricks and thoughts, because I've been mourning that breastfeeding journey ending, and I've been kind of procrastinating even ending it, because it is one of the things that went well with my birth and one of the things that went well with my motherhood journey that I just wasn't ready and willing to give up right away. So when my daughter turned 1, I just decided to keep going. And now we're here. And I think the weaning has been really sad. And I even will look at pictures of her when she's little, and I have a few of her breastfeeding, and I just start crying because it's just really sad. I don't know, that era of my child truly growing into her own person. It's just a weird feeling, and it's a bittersweet feeling. Don't get me wrong. I'm so ready to be done. That's the crazy thing about this, is I'm so ready to be done, but it doesn't mean that that journey isn't sad. It's like when you read a book and you're at a happy ending, but there's still a lot that happened in that book. A lot of things happened in that story, and man, I am just going through that story right now. I would love to hear from somebody who's much smarter than me, like a psychologist, to actually break down what it is that's happening to the female brain when they are weaning and why it is so emotional. Because man, my emotions, they're there. But anyways, this was a lot of fun. Let me know if you guys like me kind of just chatting while I clean, because this is kind of where I'm at. I just really had a lot of fun doing this, and I definitely feel like this is going to motivate me to clean my house more. Okay, hi. So I think I got as much cleaning as I could handle today. Oh my goodness, I don't understand how people can get so much cleaning done in a day. I mean, I feel like I've gotten a lot done, but there's still so much more that I could have done. But I also wanted to let you guys know that there is going to be a very exciting few upcoming videos. I've recently been updating my sunroom. I'll do a little clip here so you guys can see sort of what I've been working on. I also just have a ton of ideas on top of those videos that I've already been filming, so I'm very excited. I have a lot of content to share. All right, well, I will see you guys very, very soon, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week.